determined chin, high cheekbones and chocolate brown eyes, which could make a person feel they were the centre of the universe if he chose. A winter suntan gave him a healthy glow against short, dark hair. Their eyes locked, and for one horrible moment, she thought he'd recognised her. But then he looked away. That he didn't appear to remember her was almost as embarrassing than if he had. She croaked a thank you, and before her legs gave way, escaped to the safety of the kitchen. She wanted to be as far away from Alexander Sinclaire as possible. Alex watched intently as the young chef fled. It had been a long time since he'd seen anyone so shy. He glanced around the room full of self-interested people. He thought them fun at first, had revelled in their lively company, but the novelty was wearing off. Now they made him feel almost as alone as he did in his empty apartment. He was only here because of Tia, his business partner. She constantly nagged him to get out more, to enjoy himself. But joy was something he found difficult to capture these days. He watched as she worked the room, chatting to her guests. She was a formidable lady, beautiful and stylish, and with a sharp business brain. She'd been a lifesaver when he first came back to England, devastated at the turn his life had taken. His gaze shifted towards another stunning brunette, his plus one tonight. Nikki, a highly successful model, was seated next to him. They'd had an on-off relationship for a while now, but he was beginning to realise they had little in common. She'd started to become clingy, and he knew it was time to end their liaison. It was only fair when he didn't feel the same way. Besides, nobody could replace Kaz. He shook his head and forced himself away from the train of thought. He was already far too melancholy tonight. Nikki leaned into him and gave him a peck on the cheek. "Just popping to the little girl's room," she announced, and he watched her walk away with a sigh of relief. He drained his glass and decided he would leave soon. He wasn't in the mood to move to a club for the usual after-party. Tonight, his sterile apartment was where he wanted to be. The only redeeming feature of this evening had been the food, which had been worthy of a Michelin restaurant. And then Tia had brought her new chef into the room, stained by her hard work and devoid of all artifice. It was the girl's lack of makeup that had first caught his eye, so different from the perfection around the table. He'd liked the way she presented her face to the world with honesty, and it was endearing the way she'd flushed as Tia had flung her into the fold. But it was her name which niggled him the most. A name he remembered from a long time ago. Surely it was a coincidence? "Why such a cross face, darling?" Tia settled herself down in Nikki's vacated chair. "Nikki said she couldn't get a word out of you." Poor old Nikki. "Meow. So come on, tell me what's bothering you." "Nothing. I'm just tired." "Oh, you work too hard," she said, patting his arm. "Takes one to know one," he replied. "I'm sorry, Tia. I'm just feeling jaded tonight." "Well, you must be, darling, because when you're tired of my parties, you're tired of life." He laughed. "Perhaps you're right." Changing the subject, he asked, "Tell me, where did you find your new chef?" "One of my clients recommended her. She's quite something." "I think I might know her." Apart from the name, there'd been something about her eyes, or perhaps it was that faint, shy smile that had seemed familiar. Tia shrugged. "I know very little about her myself, except that she used to live up north, Cheshire or somewhere. Can I get you anything before I join my other guests?" Alex shook his head. "No, it's okay. I might head off soon. Thanks for a lovely evening, though." "Pleasure's all mine." She squeezed his arm and returned to mingling. Cheshire. Cartwright. There could be no mistaking it then. Instead of leaving, Alex filled his glass up again. Danny Cartwright, Elizabeth's brother, had been his friend at university. Alex had spent some of his holidays with their family in Cheshire as his own family lived in Dubai. Little Lizzie had been a dumpy girl, laughed at by the other boys because of her size and her obvious crush on him. But he'd always had a soft spot for her and thought of her as a younger sister. He'd enjoyed his holidays with them. It had been good to be part of such a noisy, loving family. But then it had all gone horribly wrong. Liz was packing the last of the boxes into her small white van when she felt